Two unemployed actors, two unemployed actors. They're just between projects.
Welcome back to Two Unemployed Actors. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
We have AFTRS short film to talk about. We have an update from Sam. That's him really excited to update
I'm
us.
very excited.
Shout out to listeners in Baltimore, in Westminster.
I love that place.
It's going to be a long show.
Oh, it's the best
In
place.
Westminster, in England, and in Sydney. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Good evening, good day, whatever time it is.
Yeah.
And don't forget to subscribe on our social media platforms as well. All right, welcome back. Got the business end out of the way.
Yes. All the
Talk
admin.
about the fun stuff. The fun
stuff.
So, a few weeks ago, I was on set for some production, some acting thing for corporate. And
Obviously not that important.
Well, it was because it paid the bills. A friend of mine messaged me going, I've just had to drop out due to timing for a student film. I'm like, oh, okay, student film, because I'm not doing any more free stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. It's a really cool shoot. We'll get you the script. It's AFTRS, so great, great school. So I'm like, okay, my ears are up. I can do this. I had a look at the script, and it was really interesting because not just because it's different to what I've been doing, actor, lawyer, father, husband, really full on, heavily medicated alcoholic construction worker who's, in a not great place after the wife has died with his relationship with the daughter. Wow.
Oh, this you spoke a little bit about this, but yeah.
Layer upon
Very
layer
cool.
of drama. So
Can't help yourself. You just got to get it. Once you get offered a role, you have to do it. No matter what.
Well, it depends. No, I've said no to a few things. Let me assure you, over the last few weeks.
I think it's
'cause
important. Equally, it's important to know when to say no.
to be able to filter prodigiously, and I think
Yeah.
experience allows you to do that. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it's just as important what you say no to.
That's true.
Because when you're committing to a rehearsal day. You're committing to a few days on set. That's
You're
time
committing your
you're
time,
not. Yeah,
a lot of your time and skill.
and that's time I'm not working
In
doing
your
voiceovers.
case, maybe not as much skill. But
Well, I like to think so. At least I'm only lying to myself. So, and then
It's good acting.
you're committing to days you can't do auditions, days you can't do castings, days you can't
Yeah.
do your corporate work. So,
Yeah.
I thought, it's a really important thing. And so I looked at the script. It was really good. We had a little Zoom catch up, the producers, the writer, director, and myself, and it just gave me more and more confidence in it.
Cool.
And I think previously I spoke to how they were struggling to find people because they're like, the character's an arsehole, whereas I'm sort of looking into that character with my life experience going, he doesn't wake up intending to, provide harm onto someone.
Oh, that's right. You had a different insight than all the other
Yeah,
auditionees.
he's just flawed as a human being, and that's okay. So I felt confident being able to bring it to life. What was interesting was on the days of the shoot, especially the real heavily intense scenes, the ones where we're going full on at each other, myself and Amy Patmore played my daughter who was going full on aggressive to me. Like we're just really having it out. It's been filmed.
You filmed it. Yeah.
So on those days, it was really interesting how we both had different ways to approach the character. Like I was pretty relaxed because like I've played it different ways, shortlisted those ways in rehearsal. So I felt really confident on the day.
Yeah, right.
So that allowed me some freedom to be in the moment and to have a play in the moment. But leading up to these scenes, what was really interesting and fantastic, Ruby, who was directing, just made a really nice safe space and said, look, we're going to have minimal crew in the room. This is a couple hours before even, we're gonna have minimal crew in the room. Feel free to spend some time in the space, just relax, get to know the space, have a run through if you want to. I also let Amy know that I'm ready to do line reads or rehearsal, whatever you need. She was in her own space, literally in her car outside, just going through what she needed to do to get into the right space for a very full and emotional scene. I let her know that I'm available if she needed me for anything. And I was in the space having a little joke around as I do and sort of getting a hang of how the shot's going to be set up, that sort of thing. And I think that really allowed us, although we were very different in how we approached it, both Amy and myself, it allowed us to really turn up and be ready 100% to commit to this scene. And because it's okay, I don't mind if everyone's got their own different process. Whatever helps them to turn up and be ready, so that we can just go for it, and that allows me to explore more in the moment. So by that I mean, when we were in the scene, we were ready to go. We do a run through, and the director's kind of looking at the run through, thinking about camera placement and all that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah, right.
Because certain things might hit like, wow, that moment's really good. We should capture it this way. So, and the set decoration was perfect, and it was 360. So they had the freedom to move with the camera
around.
placement.
Okay, cool.
So it really allowed the setup for the most successful opportunity
So it
for
was
two
very
actors.
professional set as well.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
And that allowed us to really just the freedom to move, because we knew the camera wasn't fixed.
Yeah.
It could be placed anywhere. We knew that we were both ready. We had the confidence from rehearsals.
Mm-hmm.
We both loved the characters and the script.
So in this particular emotional scene, what was it about? Can you tell us about?
It's like a final confrontation where it's escalated, it's stepped up a notch, and yet somewhere during this scene they both realise what's going on and it's not healthy, and we're actually dealing with the trauma.
Yeah, right.
We're just dealing with it differently. We're in the same sort of headspace in terms of trauma, just dealing with it very differently. And in a way, the daughters had to step up and look after the dad. And it's come to a head. We're both exhausted. I'm sliding off the couch. She's sliding down the wall. And boom, it just sort of hits us. And we're like, fuck. So it's... Obviously, I'm not a script writer, because... there were a few more layers to it.
Yeah, that was it.
But yeah, we just yell at each other and go, "Oh fuck, okay, all right, let's go get some takeout." So,
what are you, American?
so it was really interesting. I really enjoyed the process, and then when we finally got to the scene, it just flowed like it was on fire. It was intense.
How many, did you do a few takes as well?
Yeah, we did a few, and then we had this really unique opportunity where Ruby came in and said, "Look, we're going to give you the camera. We're going to set it up over there in the corner. We're going to leave the room. You guys, do the sound. You guys clap for sound. You guys say cut, and then we come back. It's up to, as long as you feel like you've got it. If you haven't got it, you can do it again." So I'm like, okay, this is really cool. So it really is just her character and my character. And we're just going to go for it and have a play in that space on our own.
And was that better than with some of them in the room? Do you feel?
For me, I mean, I didn't really mind. I was looking forward to another run through because there was a couple of things I wanted to try, technically. Right. But, I don't care if there's 100,000 people or whatever, because I sort of lose myself I've got tunnel vision. I'm thinking about the character's mindset.
100%.
But it was a really unique... I've never had the opportunity before. So I'm like, I don't know. Let's have a look and see how it goes. So... We're ready to go, and we give ourselves the cue, we clap, action, and we're into it, and we're going for it. And it just felt like, boom, we're just so into it.
Nice.
And then got all the rehearsals behind us, a few great takes behind us as well. So we just knew it's in the bag. So this is like one extra, and we were just going for it, going off the rails. And then I'm like, cut. And I felt so good, like we'd really got something amazing. And it just so happened that where the framing was, she was right, Amy was right on the right side of camera, and I'm right on the left side of camera, just in frame, and we're just absolutely going for each other. There's moments we get close, moments we get further apart, and we just finish at the same place in the frame, but opposite.
Oh, very cool.
And I'm like, cut, they all come back in, and I'm smiling, Amy's smiling, we're like, yeah, we got it, whatever. We look back on the front. We look back on it. I only looked at a bit because I'm really not too keen on seeing myself.
Yeah.
How do you find, like, when because you've got the monitor there?
I like I like watching it back sometimes just because I love seeing the world through the lens of a camera. It looks so much better. Okay. In my early like much earlier days, like I hated watching myself and listening to myself because of singing I had to as well.
Oh, of course.
And it takes some time. Like I've gotten a bit used to it, but I don't like really watching myself unless I'm trying to actually do better or learn from something.
Okay.
So yes, I'm in agreement with you.
I don't really look for it. I think unless there's something technical, like it's comedy timing or something's got to happen as I do an action, and it sets off a chain reaction. I've just got to make sure I got that right. But But yeah, and I didn't. I chose not to on this particular occasion. Anyway, I left the room because I'm like, my heart rate's up there. I'm fully going still.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to get out of the character, So I'm just like having a chat to a neighbour who was asking what was going on, and quite rightly too, in the apartment block. It was quite a lot of noise. We're having the same fight over and over and over. So I had a little chat to them, which helped me. And realising later I looked like the full alcoholic. Like I had the makeup on.
Did they know it was a shoot?
Yeah, they did then. So it was really interesting. So it took me out of the mindset. Sometimes music helps me too. But anyway, director was happy, writer was happy. So everyone's happy. That makes me happy if they're smiling.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, it felt really good. How did that look? And she's like, it was amazing. And then when you yelled cut, you just put your arms up in the air and you're like, yeah. So like, I didn't realise. So obviously I was happy with it.
Yeah.
So it worked out quite well. And their brief for the assessment was to have a 5-minute film. What they found is they've got over 10 minutes.
Oh, no.
That they can really use. So they had 2 cuts. One for their submission for AFTRS for the school.
That has to be 5 minutes?
Yes, that has to be 5 minutes. And the other is what we'd call the director's cut. I'm so looking forward to seeing it. I haven't seen it yet.
Which is a longer version.
Yeah, the 10-minute movie. So I'm so excited to see it because I really love. From the moment I looked at the script, I'm like, I could really see this a certain way,
cool.
And that's the way I saw my character the whole way through. So it was really interesting.
That's always
really
so much
gelled.
fun when you click with your character straight away.
And it all happens, and everyone on set, like, there's no passengers. Remembering too, this is in the thick of COVID, and in Australia, AFTRS is the school that wrote COVID guidelines that were then picked up by the industry and then picked up overseas.
Really?
So we're talking pressure.
AFTRS did it.
Yeah.
Because they were pretty strict. I do remember that because I had to go
Correct.
in for recording for a short film that I did. And
Had the nurse on the front door and everything.
We weren't allowed in. It was early days. So yeah.
Well,
they
it
were
was
very strict.
They actually had a COVID monitor, and the COVID monitor was one of the teachers who was briefed on the guidelines that would then turn up at a random moment on set and or during rehearsals and just stand in the corner being the creepy person with their COVID shirt going, is that 1.5 meters apart? What was interesting is that it really involved a lot of tension up close, and the apartment wasn't huge. There's some scenes in the kitchen. We had to really cheat it quite carefully because we'd get this amazing setup and then it'd be like, but the camera can't. The camera guy's got to fit in.
Yeah.
The cinematographer's got to fit in there, and they have to be 1.5 meters apart. So other moments, the problem solving helped us get a better frame, a better setup, and a better scene. It's because it really made us think, like, we got it in terms of how we wanted the characters positioned. Then great, we got it technically, because that's the other thing, making sure that lighting was right and everything was still 1.5. And it looked so good that we had to get someone to take a photo of the setup to make sure that if they asked a question, we could prove that we were 1.5 meters apart. Because there'd be nothing more embarrassing than the body that makes the guidelines getting a couple of sets shut down because of the COVID. So, you know what I mean? So it's masks on and behave. And which I have to say, we did really well. And I think if we can, like I said to the guys, if you can pull off a short film with such intensity and such closeness during COVID, you'd be fine. Yeah, you'll be fine. Because there were moments where everything worked perfectly, and then we're like, damn it, the COVID, because technically we had to get even the camera and lighting 1.5 minutes apart, as I said, and it worked out perfectly, and then we're like, damn it, for technical reasons we couldn't. So we had to cheat the close-up where the camera would be on a apple crate behind me, up high, to be 1.5 meters apart, then zooming in to make it look like it's just a normal over-the-shoulder shot. Yeah. And it had to be a certain eye line because it had to look like I'm looking down at the food because it starts close to the food at the bottom of the fridge because she had an eating disorder. And then it zooms out to see me looking at it and then keeps zooming to show the full scene. So it was really complicated, but we got there. And fortunately, they were smart enough to allow 3 days to film instead of the normal 2 for this assessment. Just so they could go around this. Because there's so much extra. But we found ourselves extra time, even to the point where the last full-on emotional scene, which they left to shoot last, which was thankful again because it was all building up to that moment, said, look, you're happy to do it again? Do you want to do improv? Do you want to, I'm like, you know what? I think we've got it. Yeah. So we're really happy with that. So look, it was a great shoot. I'm looking forward to it. As soon as I'm able to share the film, I will on all the Two Unemployed socials and that, because every now and then you come across a project that you really gel with and everything works technically. The crew's super professional and you just can't wait to see the finished product.
Yeah, nice.
And that's one of them.
Cool.
Yay. And other than that, it's been busy with the rehearsals for play. I've had to bump this week's rehearsal because I'm on hold for something tomorrow. Corporate gig Thursday night, presenting for the wine.
Yeah.
So hopefully it doesn't result in a hangover on the Friday.
Yep.
And I just had a call back for a rather large corporate gig on Monday, actually. So
nice.
It's all happening.
This is all through the agent?
No, that was all me. The agent did give me a...
So Star Now stuff. Oh, no, this is the... Yeah.
Star Now. So the agent did give me an opportunity with through Danelong Casting for a Sydney Water television commercial, actually, that I did a self-tape for on Monday. So literally the lights have been set up. It's my dining room without a dining table is basically been the rehearsal space. I've been doing laps with my script for the play with the dog looking at me like I'm crazy, and also doing self-tape after self-tape. Yeah. So it's working out quite well. I might regret actually getting a dining table.
Yeah, just don't get one. You need it on the floor. Sit on the floor.
Actor's laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's been quite good. It's all about the acting, less about the voiceovers. It's funny how the universe sort of works itself out.
Yeah, nice. Well, that feature film that I got into, that Jess and I got into, we had our read-through last night.
How'd it go?
Over Zoom. Zoom's a funny one to have a read-through with. There's a lot of pauses where there's not meant to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't have everyone. We're going to have everyone figure out a day to get everyone there. It's just some people were busy.
Okay.
But it was very cool to see Cameron again, the director and the writer, and actually go through the script word for word, stage directions, all that stuff.
Had it changed the draft since the one?
No, we still used the one that he sent through. And because that was, I think, his draft 7 anyway.
Yeah.
But it took about 2.5 hours to get through, or maybe just 2 hours or something like that. But it was good. It met a few other people, all the other characters as well, and it was cool to meet all the other actors playing the other characters. And it was good to go through the script, and it's quite funny. It's actually quite a funny script, and it is based a bit on loosely on the director's kind of life outside after HSC.
Okay.
So it's going to be cool. We're all going to have some fun. It's going to be a fun one. Just kind of chill out, but work hard as well.
Yeah.
Put 100% in, but I think
that's the one where it looks like you've had lots of fun because you enjoyed it, but that's because you did the homework.
Yeah. Well, actually, when I did the audition, most of these characters are virgins and young, whatever.
Inexperienced in life.
He's a little bit of a bitch, and he's and
we've all met one of those.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking at you.
I was looking at you.
Oh, you bastard.
No, but so during the audition, right after the first script, I think it was the director's dad who was also sitting in on it as well.
Oh, right.
But he said to me, "Yeah, that was really really nice and subtle. You play a virgin really well." And I said, "Yeah, method." And he knew that Jess was my girlfriend. He's like, "Yeah, you guys for a while, eh?" Yeah. Anyway, it was quite funny. No, it was funny.
That's cool.
And I was like, "That's what I'm here for, to pull that off." So that's pretty good. And I was, and obviously got the role.
That's good.
But yeah, it was really good it's always good to read through the script,
bring it to life a bit, and
don't
hear the
skip
other
over
characters,
anything either, and hear how all the other actors think their characters are like as well.
Have you had much time to talk to the director, one-on-one, about your character and
not yet
that sort of development?
Not yet, but we will.
You've got
probably
some
have
ideas,
a rehearsal.
obviously.
Yeah, and he's kind of like, "Look, this script is not concrete. I want you guys to play around with it."
Okay.
Technically, in this idea, you kind of just got to play yourself because they're just teens out of
take
HSC.
Elements of yourself.
And it's just partying and drugs and chill and drunk. That's
you can relate to that.
I do all the drugs. This character, So yeah, I think it's going to be quite chill in the acting realm for my character at least, because he doesn't do much anyway. But it's gonna be great fun, and
that's great.
Put some stuff on my showreel.
And
get it out there.
Did you tell your agent? Because I think there was a few of you from.
Yeah, I haven't told him yet.
Rep.
I'm gonna tell him. I also need to tell work.
Of course. Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
You can't be in two places at once.
Yeah, exactly. But I am gonna tell my agent.
Right.
I should tell the other guys to tell them as well, because we're all
get the clearance from all of you, as
we'll
you all
go in a
say.
group chat or something.
It's good too that the agent knows what you're doing, and you know what I mean. That you're
Oh,
still
100%.
committed, and you're getting more and more experience each week.
100%. And I'm planning on finishing my Showreel off. I need to finish that and shove it onto casting networks because I don't actually have anything up there right now. Because that makes a significant difference with getting roles.
I mean, look, even if people aren't religiously watching it from the first second to the last second, it adds credibility to you as a professional actor.
Yeah,
and it's easy for casting directors and directors to see you working on a set.
Yeah.
And go, great, I know we can work on a set.
And they're going to skip over a lot of the ones without them. Ones with just headshots. I mean, it's going to be, they say, oh, cool, but they want to see something.
It helps because to see an actor moving and talking and doing
is
their
what
bit
they do.
Exactly.
Is what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah,
to
100%.
see on camera. Because so many times you see people with headshots that just look so different to what they actually look like in real life, let alone to how many, and it doesn't do justice how many characters they can bring off.
Even if it's spot on accurate portrayal of what you look like, it still doesn't show them your acting,
I think I'm up to draft whatever
500.
on my show, but I'm super happy with the reel I've got. I'm looking forward to adding in the Water Under the Bridge, which is the title of the AFTRS film. Can't wait. And
Nice.
I've got a presenting to camera reel, which when I see the Mitre 10 and the car sales drop, I'll add those into that one as well. Because obviously my bread and butter tends to be more aligned to the corporate presenting to camera. Not so much the television commercial audition I did yesterday, but like the corporate work I'm doing Thursday night, that's presenting to camera.
Yeah, right.
The Monday one, the big job, if I get that, will be presenting to camera. So
Nice.
it's great to have a reel that sort of showcases that because...
The big job's from Star now as well, did you say?
Yeah. I
It's a big
mean,
one.
it's a couple of grand to present to camera for a business and be their induction video for a certain amount of time, like 6 months or something.
Yeah, good stuff.
Which is great. And then the other one is the wine company, where it's going to turn to regular...
That's the regular stuff here, isn't it?
So back again for 2.0 this Thursday night.
Perfect.
And he was really excited because he's got a new videographer who does a lot of work on ESPN and has a really rich history in bringing amazing stuff to life on camera. So
good stuff.
I'm looking forward to that, and a professional production company which bumps it up a notch from where I was previously working with them, who's just going to package it all up, and that's what they do all the time, and give everyone a copy of the best of, so that they can get approval from the board and we can move forward.
Nice.
So the boring business bits behind the scenes, but yeah, I mean, 2 show reels that are getting me work, so I can't complain.
And you got a lot of voiceovers. You've been doing a lot of voiceovers.
I wouldn't say a lot, actually. It's really funny. I thought the acting would die off this time of year.
But
like we're talking, like it's the 15th of Christmas, 15th of December.
Yeah.
But I'm busier now as companies are really trying to. I mean, it's an abnormal year.
It is.
COVID's almost behind us. Everyone's back in the city working now. The restrictions are eased. So it's a nice place to be in Sydney. And we don't, obviously people aren't going to travel overseas. So what's the city? Normally Sydney's dead in January. From now until, or pretty much after New Year's, it just dies until school's back.
But all productions are jumping straight on it.
But like everyone's rushing, and businesses, particularly with the corporate work, are rushing to get stuff done before Christmas break. So what's weird is, I've got lots of that stuff. And then the voiceover stuff, even the auditions have dropped a bit. But that's, again, the universe working out for me. So I'm still working normal hours. It's just more on the acting stuff, which is great. And setting up it's so much easier having the studio lights and the setup downstairs, because it doesn't matter what time of day or night I'm recording. I've still got the same consistency. Excuse me. And I think with some films where some audition tapes where I really edit quite a bit in there.
Yeah.
I might look at it and go, oh, I'm really missing this kind of element, and then go back from the editing chair to actually redo it again. And at least it can drop straight in because everything's consistent, everything being, lighting, which is most important.
Sure.
So, yes, it's been, it's been busy.
It's been busy.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Sunday with... I think we're going from 2:30 to 8 p.m. doing a few run-throughs of the play in its entirety.
Enjoy. Yeah.
Because it's such a physical comedy, there's lots of running around and bumping into each other.
Awesome.
I'm really having to work hard on that.
Yeah, work.
It's not so much being off book word-wise, it's blocking. So I'll give you more info on that next episode. So yes, you've been listening to Two Unemployed Actors. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
And you'll hear us again next week.
See you guys.
Bye.
Two unemployed actors.